And welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm starting a little bit late. Um, the reason why I'm starting late is because I can't find my phone, so I don't have the Twitch chat. So what I'm doing is setting it up on my girlfriend's fancy phone, which is kind of cool, but I don't know how her phone works. Um, hmm. Just signing into the chat. Hi there. It wants me to. Oh, to send an SMS to my phone. That's the one that I've lost. So who knows where that SMS is going? Thought I heard it vibrate. Maybe not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll just live without the chat, I suppose, until I figure this shit out. Oh shit, there it is. Alright, cool. Got the phone that works. It's got water all over it. Shit. Okay, so that's what happened. Last night, my cat, who you all know from the previous streams, decided to tip over some water that was on my desk, and I had to do a fair bit of cleanup. And yeah, and obviously she's tipped my phone over in the process, and I didn't notice. The phone still works though. It's got water all over the screen, but it still seems to be good. So let's try not to fuck with it too much. Alright, cool. We're underway. That's good. sorry about the little technical difficulties we're having. Well, come on, get back on. Alright. That should stay good for a while. Alright. So, thank you all for coming to the stream. I didn't post very much this week because the post that I did do this week took me a fucking long time to do. That was the best of the dark ages of K-pop. So, which is this post here. Oh no, not worst of the dark ages of K-pop. I'm sorry. Which yeah, it took me forever. All these big lists that I do at the end of each year, and also at other times, sometimes favourites and worst and all that, they take a very, very long time. With the end of the year post, that doesn't actually take very long because I sort of write them progressively through the year. I don't just do it all in one big hit. Around about sort of late November, early December, I start sorting out the best and worst in what I like and dislike the most, and then I sort of gradually write the reviews. But this one I just did it all the way through from start to finish. I did no prep work on it whatsoever. I'd had at various points solicited suggestions for favourite songs, worst songs, things like that, but nobody really had any. had very few actually, But this time I got lots and lots of suggestions for it. And so and probably about 20% of the ones in the list were songs that I hadn't heard before, which were ones that you suggested, or they were songs that were related to other ones that you guys suggested. So I might have clicked on a song that you thought I'd hate and I liked it, but then I found what's related and I found something. And some of them I knew from before, and a lot of them I didn't. So, but it's all just for entertainment and fun, and hopefully you got some fun out of it. Now I'm going to go to the stream questions. So we have a couple. So let's do those. And I'm just checking the chat works. Yeah, my phone works fantastic. So cool. Let's yeah, hi there. Hi Levithra and Yuffie. Let's have a look at the stream questions. Scenario: you're a member of a successful veteran K-pop girl group who's known for innocent concepts. You've all signed new contracts where you've given some creative control of your music. You're bordering 30 and are sick of still doing this shtick where you're pandering to Uncle Fence's leader fetishes. You don't like that you're still acting like a child and want to try something different. Problem: all your group members unanimously want to keep doing innocent concepts. They argue that it's better to not alienate the group's core fan base of mostly older men with large incomes who buy all the products which you endorse. What will you do? I don't know. Because, I mean, I would... I'd probably just say to them, yes, you're right, I like money. let's do the innocent concept again. But I don't know. I mean, it's a presumption to say that people who get older are necessarily sick of it. I mean, yeah, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. I mean, people get sick of anything eventually, I suppose, but I don't know. It's a bit hard for me to put myself in that position. Can you please comment on Army's going to jail party? Someone, I think, linked me this a little while ago. I'll just pop it. For all the Armies who don't know, having Big Hit released, I think. Big Hit released photos and videos that only membership armies can watch. Armies leaked the fan cafe pics and the video links to help each other. Now Big Hit is mad and deleting all the videos. I don't know. Do I care? Surely the Big Hit would have realised that people would do that, but maybe they need some DRM. But I don't know. I don't know what sort of reaction you're fishing for here. I don't really care what happens between fandoms and their agencies to any great degree. I think it's fairly irrelevant. All that stuff's kind of silly anyway. You're falling for twice. Okay. Well, honestly, I'm liking them a lot more these days too, to be honest. When their first few songs came out, I didn't like them at all. I thought, wow, this is really boring. And but as it's sort of gone on, they've just had better songs on average. So I don't mind a lot of the later stuff they've done. Saying a lot of it's really good. And yeah. So that's fine. I mean, you know, it's okay to like what you like, whether it's Twice or BTS or whatever. You know, I don't like BTS so much, but they had one good song. Let's see if I can find anything vaguely interesting on Asian Junkie to talk about, because as I've mentioned in the stream post, this stream is mainly to replace the idea of news post. But what if it's SES? Yeah, we'll have to take you out and shoot you. Sorry. No, it's okay to like anything at all. It's fine. Yeah. Really. Dreamcatcher doing Japanese stuff. You know, takes off shirt. It's like Danes and a Y. Something about Produce 48, which I'm really not following. A lot of people are asking me to post stuff about Produce 48, about various things, and I really just couldn't be fucked. Not following up and not watching the show. Crayon Pops Ellen goes for a swim. The boys stumble up with some milk before his cereal. Seriously? Video of Johnny and Ten singing told to stop using English. Yeah, the whole act more Korean thing, the thing that Melanie from Chocolate pointed out, which Asian Junkie has mentioned here and he's linked to my interview. He's of course linked the Asian Junkie version of it, which is slightly different to the version on my own site. The difference being that when I spoke to Melanie about doing this interview, I asked her for some photos, and I said, if you could get exclusive photos that have never been seen before, that'd be great. And she did. She provided a whole lot. All the photos in my version of the interview are photos that either were never been published before, or they had been published before by her, but her agency forced her to delete them from social networks because they thought they were unflattering or whatever. And and Asian Junkie weirdly didn't use most of those photos. Instead, he just replaced it with photos like this, which is just a generic photo from her promos for some song at the time. Can't remember which one. This is just another generic photo of the group, So that was one that she gave to me, and so was that. But yeah, there were a few others he didn't use, and so I don't really understand Asian Junkie's editing and why he does what he does. I'm sure he's got some logic behind it, but fuck if I know what it is. Anyway, but nice of him to just say that anyway, so good on him. Enjoying dances to Blackpink, don't really care. Momoland, do some videos, don't care. Some dude died because he was accused of sexual harassment, so he killed himself, or assault or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is. I didn't read it. So what? Twice looked good. Yeah, we knew that. Young's boyfriend making threats with a knife. Oh, we have a visitor. The cat is here. She's probably going to get up and say hello. We'll see. And CO might be leaving YG, which is no surprise. Have a friend. So, yeah, not very exciting news this week. Pretty unspectacular. So, that's a shame. But Seagulls is here, so it's alright. Yeah, Seals, look, what's probably going to happen is if Seal gets the flick from YG, you probably will see her debut in the S finally, the 6th debut, the 7th debut, or whatever. So, that'd be cool, I guess, or maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be terrible, like the last 5 debuts in America. But yeah, I think if the reins are off, she might do some stuff. Not that I really care what she does. I mean, I'll review it. I like Seal though. I like her attitude. I saw some interview with her where she said, I like all the people who like me. I like all the haters too because it's funny, and I thought that was good. That was a good attitude. It's a bit like my attitude. So, so I've got a lot of time for CL as an individual. I just, just think if she made a better song sometime, that'd be good. What are you doing, cat? So, yes. But Seal's not really the baddest female. Stiglitz here is the baddest female. So, she's bad meaning good. Especially when she tries to break my phone. Anyway, so what's going to be worse, Seal's debut or Tiffany's debut? Tiffany's song's terrible. It's really bad. So Seal could, by all means, do a better song. I wouldn't be surprised if the new Seal song's better than that, if she finally gets to release one. Didn't I write a post about how not everyone can make it as a solo artist? Not as a solo artist specifically. I did make a post about just how difficult it is to survive in the industry, generally speaking, and to actually get somewhere. And that's what post is that? I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of opportunities in Korean pop in general. I mean, a group like BTS is, exceptionally fortunate to, get where they are. And I'm sure 3 years ago or whatever, or 4 years or whenever they started, they would have just thought to themselves, oh shit, we're in some B-list agency, we're probably fucked, but let's give it a go anyway. There's not too many avenues. There's only so many groups that can sustain a career. This industry's not that big. So, but I don't know. I don't think Seal's really going to go that far in America. I mean, for a start, she's getting to the point where she's, getting to be old to really be marketable, according to industry wisdom. So she's probably, if she hopped on it 5 years ago, I think maybe, but I think it's a little bit too late, and for the American market, and American market's probably not going to go for an Asian anyway, in a big way. I'd be surprised if they did. I mean, I could be wrong, but sorry, my phone's fucking up because I tipped water on it. Yeah, so I'd say, I don't think Seal's really going to have much of a shot. It could be wrong, but I doubt it. I think if she was going to blow up, she would have done it already. Yeah, that's true. Success in America is lucrative, but has zero to do with making good music. I mean, well, it's to do with making popular music. And popular doesn't always mean good, right? I mean, there's certain formulas for making popular music. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I mean, no one knows the true formula, because if they did, everyone would be pop stars. The thing is that sort of stuff changes all the time. It's very easy in retrospect to say, well, this wasn't going to work. But you don't really know until you try it. Like, it's easy to say JYP fucked up with the Wonder Girls, but, what if he never tried? Then he would have regretted not trying, right? So I think it's good to give it a go. Anyway, what else have I got to talk about? Not a lot. Just this post, and pretty terrible songs in there. I think BTS is doing really well. I mean, that's the sort of success that you want to have in the US, the sort of success that BTS has, rather than the sort of success that Psy had, where you've got this massive one massive smash, and then you've just got so much pressure to recreate that. It's better to have a situation like BTS where you're sort of gradually building with each song, and each song's slightly different, even though they're kind of more or less the same thing, and then there's not an expectation to fit into one particular format, and you're sort of building your fans sort of organically. It worked really well. I think it could also work quite well for Luna, who have similar marketing to BTS. Someone asked me about the marketing and why it's so similar, and I said that it's a social aspect of the marketing which is very similar for both of those groups. And really relying on the social media to create the buzz. I mean, Luna hasn't even been on any shows and stuff like that, so it's just all through the social media channels, and it's actually quite big already before the group's even debuted. So I think they're really trying to do something similar to what BTS have done, and that might also have good results for them in the US, potentially. Maybe not as much, but who knows? I mean, you don't really know. Well, yeah, it does come down to crazy fan bases yelling, and not just yelling, but also what BTS agency did was they put out a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of stuff for the fans. What do I think of Kyungri's new song? Yeah, didn't I write about it last week? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure it's in this roundup. Yeah, here it is. Unless she's got another one since Blue Moon. But Blue Moon was alright. Oh yeah, I didn't really give you my opinion on the song, did I? It's alright. I don't like the way it starts. I'll just play it. Starts off with this sort of oh no, it's going to be another fucking tropical piece of shit vibe, right? Good evening, Kurt 99. I saw that said cunt 999, but it's Kurt. It's a little bit blurry because of my eyes. I don't have the best vision. So the song kind of, this bit's not great. But I think it's about here it gets better. No, not really. It's still a bit meh. We'll just move on a bit. This backing's much better, I think. And from here, I think the song sort of starts to pick up. And I mean, it's not amazing. It's alright. It's not going to get on the favourites list. It's just a bit too like everything else. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's one of the better songs that came out that week. Best one being A-Pink, which I thought was actually quite good. Should you have all the Minas I know. Nah. Why, just because I've got the same name? That's kind of arbitrary and dumb. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I'm going to write something. It's got to be, I don't know, interesting on some level. Rather than just, piecing together stuff that's arbitrary. If I'll talk a bit about blogging before I leave, right? Which is, if you haven't read it, a really good book to read is yeah, I'm glad it isn't. Is Idori by William Gibson. Guy who wrote Neuromancer, the guy who predicted the internet before it actually happened, and imagined it and wrote about it on a manual typewriter. I mean, like 1981 or something like that. And Idori is quite an interesting book. Like, it's not objectively, it's not a very good story. I don't actually think William Gibson's a very good writer in terms of writing stories. But where he is really good is in ideas and sort of perceiving what's going to happen in the future. And the protagonist in well, actually two of them, but the male protagonist in Idoru is a guy, and he tries to describe his job in the book, and he says it's like he talks about cultural nodal points and sort of connecting things together, and I didn't really understand what the fuck that was about when I was reading the book. I was like, what's Gibson actually talking about? But then when I started doing K-Pocalypse blog, I actually started to understand it, because I realised that that's actually kind of what a blogger does when a blogger is actually good and doesn't suck, like most of them. What you're really trying to do when you're blogging is connecting ideas, and not just having ideas, but also connecting different ideas together. So if you look at something that's I've written about that's fairly popular, like, I don't know, French Face, or that's connecting a few different ideas together, right? And how well it works is going to depend on the strengths of your ideas and how it can be connected. That's why I'm not writing about Project 48 yet, right? Because there's nothing really there that's a strong enough idea to connect it to anything else. And that's sort of, it's a difficult thing to explain. I'm probably explaining it really poorly. But that's where I get a lot of the impetus to write about different things is, can I grab this idea and connect it to something else? Yeah, so hopefully that makes some sense to you people who want to try and write stuff. And that's why a lot of the other writing out there is really uninteresting to me, because there's no connection to anything else. The book's name, I'll type it out for you, it's called Idoru, which means idol in Japanese. And yeah, it is actually a book that is partly about Japanese idols, but that's not the interesting thing about the book. The story itself is kind of, it's a bit shit, really. And I mean, all William Gibson's stories kind of are. They're not very well written. I don't think he's a particularly good writer, but he just has really good ideas, and he's very visionary in the ideas he has. I just don't think he's very good at putting them into words sometimes. And he writes a lot of real cliche sort of stuff. There's some real cringe cliche stuff in Idoru, especially about Australia, because he's got like a character in there that's very obviously based on Mark Chopper Reed, and it's just a bit I don't know, it doesn't do it for me, but it gave me some direction in terms of writing actual content versus just news plus opinion, which is what most sites do. That's what you get. It's either news or news plus opinion. That's what everyone else writes. Like Asian Junkies news plus opinion, Netizen Buzz is news plus opinion, but it's someone else's opinion, not hers usually. All the news, Sumpy or whatever, is just news and no opinion. Which is sometimes preferable, to be honest, because I don't really want someone's opinion. Although I can see how that's valuable in the cases of really dumbass fans. I mean, I can see why Asian Junkie throws his opinion in, because his opinions are a little bit more mature than the average sort of fangirl sort of stuff. So it's good to have that sort of editorial aspect somewhere, but I'm just really glad that he does it, because it means I don't have to do it, because I just find that really boring. Means I can do other things, right? Yeah, Sumpi's listicles and press releases, but then so are all the other sites. I mean, that's all of them are. There's no good K-pop news site. I mean, really, Asian Junkie is probably the best there is. Asian Junkie, and the places where I get my K-pop news is really just two places. One is Asian Junkie, and the other one is OH_MES Twitter, which is just the news really and nothing else for the most part, which is fine. If I'm going to have news, I'd rather, like K-pop news, I'd rather it take up as little fucking space as possible, right? Because it's all so pointless. So if I look at who I follow, somewhere in between all the porn actresses and stuff, there's OHM, yeah, Team Pinky. So yeah, this is a good account to follow, I think, if you just want to know what's happening. And I don't know this person individual, but they write stuff, and they seem to cover most things. And I got onto it because I noticed that a lot of Asian Junkies articles were really just reposts from this. And I thought, well, why should I read the Asian Junkie articles that don't actually have much more content anyway? Why don't I just subscribe to this Twitter? So I did, and yeah, it's good. I mean, because it's K-pop news, it's a bit crap in some ways. I mean, she'll, if there's something false that comes out, she'll just report it, just like all K-pop just reports it, or some people just reports it, so... like she posted some stuff that was he or she that was about Tiara and was completely wrong, and I just said, hey, that's wrong. Don't think they listened, but so they don't fact check at all. I think they probably rely on their followers to do that. But yeah, 206,000 people following that account, it's a lot. So it's a useful account. And it's pretty low on the whole moralising aspect of things, so that's good. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say. Now, at the request of some of my readers who were liking the gaming streams, I went out and bought Rocket League. So I'm going to stop this stream, and then a few minutes later I'm going to come back on. I'm going to play some Rocket League. And you can watch me completely fail. Really, as you can probably expect, I'm pretty bad at Rocket League, but it's kind of enjoyable because the games are quick, and so yeah, I'm going to do that shortly. So, but thanks all for coming to the K-pop stream, really appreciate it. Back next week, obviously. There'll be more posts next week as well. I don't know what I'm going to write about next. I've got absolutely no idea whatsoever. I might try and catch up on some of the shit that's going on and try and, I don't know, squeeze an article out of it. Yeah, I've wanted to get Kerbal Space Program, but it's a bit expensive, so I'm waiting for a good sale. I've heard it's alright. But yeah, I might pick that up and play it for you guys at a future date. If it comes on Steam, 50% off or something like that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Roundup is coming, of course, and then there'll be some other posts too, and then we'll see how we go from there. Thank you all for tuning in once again, and just a shout out to I'm on some email mailing list called K-pop for Thought, which I'll see if I can find that on here. Yeah, just hashtag K-pop for Thought, and you can get on the mailing list. And the guys asked me to participate and contribute something, so if you'd like to see what I'm going to contribute to that, then just subscribe to that mailing list and it'll be on there. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, thanks for coming everyone, and yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes to play Rocket League, and feel free to keep talking shit about K-pop. I'll keep yakking on about it if you want, or just about anything really. Anyway, goodbye folks.